Now in this tutorial, we will see how we can run Python programs in VS Code. We will see how to download and install Python, how to install VS Code, and how we can set up the VS Code in order to run Python programs. Now let us see how we can download and install latest version of Python on our Windows 11 computer. Now here, first we have to open up a browser and we will enter the website address as python.org, and then we will hit the enter key and we will open up the Python official website. Now here we can straight away see the downloads. If I take the cursor on that, we can see the options to install Python by using the Python install manager, or we can use the standalone installer in order to install Python. Now here I will choose Python install manager. If I click on this Python install manager, it will be downloaded. I'm using this Python install manager because it will simplify a lot of stuff that we have to do. Now here, once the download is complete, we will click on this open file. It will launch the Python install manager. Now here, first we have to install this Python install manager. We will check this option which says launch when ready, and then we will click on this install Python. This will install the Python install manager. And once the Python install manager is installed, the terminal application will be opened, and here we have to answer certain things so that all the settings are properly configured. Now the first thing is to allow the paths longer than 260 characters. Here we will enter Y and then we will hit the enter key. If it asks for any permission, then click on yes and provide the permission. Now the second question is about updating the path environment variable with the Python install location. Again here we will enter Y and answer as yes, and after that I will hit the enter key. Now the next question is about downloading and installing the latest version of C Python. Again here we will enter Y and answer yes, and after that we will hit the enter key. Now it will download and install the Python. Now apart from this, if you get any other questions, you can read the question, and if you have any doubt, you can answer Y or yes and you can continue. Now here, after the installation process, it says, do you want to open up the online help? If I enter Y here and hit the enter key, it will open up the browser and it will display the help for using Python on Windows. Now here, I'm going to close this browser. Now the Python has been properly installed in our computer. The next thing that we do is we will make sure that everything is properly working. In order to check that, we will click on the start button. We will search for terminal and we will open up the terminal app. If terminal is not available, then you can open up the command prompt also. And here we will enter Python space -- version. And if you hit the enter key, then you will see the version of Python that is installed. Also, you can perform py space -- version, and it will display the same thing. Now, instead of these messages, or instead of displaying the Python version that is installed in your computer, if you get any error messages stating that Python is not found or something like that, then it means that there was some issue while installing the Python. You may have to install it again. Now let us see how we can download and install the VS Code on Windows 11. So here in the browser, I will enter the website address as code.visualstudio.com, and then I will open up the website. Here we can straight away see the option to download for Windows. We will click on this. It will start the download process automatically. Once the download is complete, we will click on this open file option. It will launch the VS Code installer. Here we will accept the license agreement, click on next, and then click on next, and then click on next. And here we will choose the options that we need. For example, if you want to have a desktop icon, then you can check this option. And along with that, if you want, you can have the option of opening up the files and folders using the VS Code by having the file and directory context menu. And after that, click on next and then click on install. Now it will install the VS Code on your computer. Now, once the installation is complete, we will check this option which says launch Visual Studio Code, and then we will click on finish and it will open up the VS Code. And with this, we have installed VS Code in our computer. Now let us see how we can set up the VS Code in order to run Python programs. Here I have already opened up the VS Code, and the first thing that I do is I will create a workspace. So I will click on this file and then I will choose the option which says save workspace as, And after that, I will go to my desktop and here I will save my workspace. On my desktop, I will right click and then I will create a folder and I will call it as Python programming. You guys can give any name. And after that, I will open up this folder and inside this folder, I will save my workspace. I will provide the name as Python workspace and then I will click on save. Now we can see Python workspace. Our workspace has been saved. Now the next thing that I will do is I will add a folder to the workspace which will contain the Python programs. So I will click on this file and then I will choose the option which says add folder to workspace. Now I will go to my desktop and Python programming folder which I have created, and inside this folder I will right click and then I will create a new folder, and this time I will call it as programs. Again, you guys can give any name, and after that I will select this folder and then I will click on this add. Now it says, do you trust the authors of the files in this folder? I will click on yes. Now it says the restricted mode is used. So we will click on this manage and then here we will click on this trust. So what it does is it will open up the workspace in trusted mode. Now we can close this window. Now the next thing that we do is we will click on this explorer icon, and here we can find the workspace and the folders that we have created. Now I will select this programs folder and then I will click on this new file icon and I will create a simple Python file to store a simple Python program. I will call it as hello.py and then I will hit the enter key. Now we can see the hello.py file has been created. Now before writing any program, we will install some extensions. So we will click on this extensions and here we will search for Python. Now here we will install the extension called as Python created by Microsoft. We will click on this install. This will also install the Python debugger, Python environment and all other required extensions. So it will do that automatically. So once the extension is installed, we can close this window and we can hide this extensions tab. Now here we can write a simple Python program. I will use print and I will say hello world, and after that I will click on this file and I will click on this save option. Here along with that we can also choose this auto save option which will automatically save our files whenever we make any modifications. Now the next thing is how we can run this program. For that, if you go to the top right section, we can find this play like icon and a down arrow. If we click on that, we can see the option run Python file in the dedicated terminal, run as a task, all these options. If you click on this run Python file, the Python program will run in the terminal. We can see the output here. Along with that, if you choose the run Python file in dedicated terminal, a new terminal will be created and the Python program will be run and we can see the output. So this is how we can set up the VS Code for Python programming. So this is it guys. This is how we can run Python programs on VS Code on Windows 11 computer. If you like the video, hit the like button. Otherwise, hit the dislike button. If you have anything to say, write that in the comment box. For more tutorials, subscribe to the channel.